Welcome to another video from EarnPed.com. I'm Stevie B, happy to have you all with me today. And today we are not in Entropia, but yet again we are back on one of my favorite websites, CyreneDream.org. I cannot say enough how much this website has helped me in my journey on Planet Cyrene, and yet again we're going to be looking at the Refurbished H.E.A.R.T mission chain. So in the last video I did about this, I showed you guys the first couple of stages you're going to need to do if the Vivo S10 is no longer giving you enough healing power. If that's the case, which is the exact situation I was in, you're going to want to come to Cyrene, go to the 0x101 Supply Depot teleporter. You're going to want to talk to the medical tech, and he's going to help you with ranks 1 through rank 6, which is stages 1 through 8 of the mission chain, which you can knock these out in a couple of hours, and that will get you all the way to the Refurbished H.E.A.R.T rank 6. Now again, at this point you will still have the base model Refurbished H.E.A.R.T. And that's fine. For a long time, that's exactly what I stuck with. But what I love is they continue to keep adding sections to this mission chain that allows you to consistently upgrade to better and better FAPs. Now, as I said in the last video, I'm very cautious and I tend not to tier these FAPs because when you turn them in, the FAP that you get will be tier 0.00. So if I turn in my rank 4 for a rank 5, my new rank 5 will be tier 0.00. No matter how much time, effort, and money I put into tiering my rank 4. And that's just true for every time you get a new FAP using this particular mission chain. So stage 9 is the stage I want to look at today because we've already covered stages 1 through 8, which gets us all the way to the Refurbished H.E.A.R.T rank 6, which is the one most people will want if the Vivo S10 is no longer doing the job for them. But today I want to look at stage 9 because stage 9 is very special. It's special because it's got this asterisk next to it. Now, stage 9 does not have to be done. If we scroll down, we can see that stage 9 can be skipped or done anytime after stage 10 or stage 11. So you can choose to do it immediately after stage 8. You can choose to wait and do it later on, or you can choose to never do it. It is up to you. If you do choose to do it, if this is part of the mission chain you're going to choose to do, which personally I did, and I think it's a very, very important part of the mission chain, but what you will need to do is, first off, to get this mission for stage 9, you will need to speak to Jacob, and Jacob is located at the 0x101 Supply Depot teleporter, as are all of these NPCs that you see here, as far as I'm aware. They're all at the 0x101 Supply Depot teleporter. So you'll speak to Jacob. He'll give you the stage 9 mission chain. And for the stage 9 mission chain, you will need to go hunt 300 Skyshatter Drones. Now, this was not the hardest thing in the world. It was not the easiest thing in the world. It was kind of slightly annoying, but not too terribly hard. So I was able to knock it out fairly quickly. After killing those 300 Skyshatter Drone, you need to turn in 500 Lesser Claw, which I happen to already have had in storage, and you'll need to turn in 2,000 Animal Oil Residue, which obviously is practically TT food. That's something that just by the nature of hunting in Entropia, you will probably, if you're spending any amount of time hunting on Cyrene, you're going to have plenty of Animal Oil Residue to work with. Now, the Lesser Claw, like I said, I had it on me just because I'd been saving it. If you don't have it on you, good chance you might prefer to just go out and buy it off auction or off of other players for markup instead of trying to farm 500 Lesser Claw by yourself, but to each their own. Now, once you've done all that, you will be given a choice between the Vigorous FAP or the Speedy FAP. Again, they're both rank 6, so the rank does not change. It's the same FAP. The only difference is you're changing it from a regular base model version to either a Vigorous or a Speedy version. If you don't want the Vigorous or Speedy version, and you just want to keep the base model version, that's when you would just skip stage 9 entirely and continue going for higher and higher level FAPs. Stage 9 is unique in that it doesn't change the level of the FAP, it changes the type from either a base model to a Vigorous or a Speedy. So what is the difference? Well, let's go back up here to the top. And at the top, we've got examples of the rank 10, which is currently the highest rank of FAP available in this mission chain. So down here at the very bottom, we can see this is just the Refurb H.E.A.R.T rank 10. This is the base model. This is the model you get if you skip stage 9 and you continue doing the upgrades, because this is the furthest upgrade you can get at the moment. So as we can see, the rank 10 has a learning period of 45 to 50, meaning it does not max out skill-wise until you're level 55 paramedic. That's a fairly high level for most players. You would have to be a higher level player. I don't want to say high level. You would definitely mid-level or better in order to be able to properly use this FAP. Heal interval is 45 through 60. And we can see that it's got a couple different buffs. It's got skill gain, paramedic by 11%, which is an amazing buff. And then effects when used, heal by 150% of heal for 5 seconds. That's that typical heal over time that the Refurb H.E.A.R.T does. And then it has an additional heal per second by 8 points for 2 seconds. So this is the base model. Now, not all of your base models, I don't believe all of the base models, I don't believe they all have this heal per second thing, but all of the base models do have the 150% of heal for 5 seconds. That's just the effect that the Refurb H.E.A.R.T was always designed with. So if you skip stage 9 and you just kept upgrading all the way to rank 10, this is what you would get, the base model. But remember, stage 9, unless you pick between Speedy or Vigorous. Now, once you make the choice, your upgrades are always going to be that. I do believe there's a way to go back and undo your choice if you don't like it, but the choices are Speedy or Vigorous. So let's look at Speedy first. This is the one that personally I do not consider to be exceedingly helpful, and I will explain why. But if you do stage 9 and you choose to get the Speedy FAP, the Speedy FAP has all the same stats as the regular base model, but it also increases your run speed by 10% for 8 seconds. Now, the theory is, if you're in a situation where you're taking a lot of damage, you hit the FAP, it gives you increased run speed by 10% for 8 seconds. Maybe that is good enough to help you get away. And again, you can use this FAP about 22 to 27 times a minute, depends which rank you have. So you could theoretically potentially hit the FAP 2, maybe 3 times, and kind of stack that run speed to get, 20, maybe 30% run speed for a second or two. But is it really going to help you get away if you're really in a tight situation? For a very, very low-level player, maybe. But once you're talking rank 6 or better, and you're actually getting to the point where you can now do stage 9 and choose either Speedy or Vigorous, you're probably far enough into the game that getting a little bit of extra run speed for a couple of seconds probably is not going to help you out of a jam more often than not. More often than not, if you're in that big of a jam, that extra run speed probably isn't going to account for a whole heck of a lot of help. That's just my personal opinion. There are people who choose the Speedy version and disagree with me, but that's just my personal opinion. Now, the Vigorous version, again, all the same stats as the base model, but this has an interesting buff, increased health by 15 points for 8 seconds. And this is why I chose to immediately do stage 9 right after I did stage 8. As soon as I got my rank 6 base model from doing stage 8, I immediately did stage 9 and I transformed it into a rank 6 Vigorous. And I'm going to be sticking with the Vigorous model, moving up in my upgrades because of this buff right here. Increase health by 15 points for 8 seconds. So what that means is, let's say for whatever reason I get in a jam and I'm taking damage and I'm kind of in a bad situation. I pull out my FAP, I hit my FAP, and yes, I get the healing power of the FAP, and I get that healing over time for 5 seconds that the FAP does and all that good stuff. But in addition to all of that, it increases my HP by 15 points for 8 seconds. And again, depending on which rank you have, you can use this FAP 22 to 27 times a minute. So every second and a half to close to 2 seconds, somewhere in there. So that being the case, if I was to be able to hit this FAP, let's say twice back to back, I could potentially, for 2 to 3 seconds, increase my HP by almost 30 HP. So in an emergency situation, that could be just enough to help me out of a jam. And this has actually happened a couple of times where I hit the FAP at just the right time, that I took a hit at just the right time, that had I not had that extra 15 HP for 8 seconds, I would have been dead. But because I got that 15 extra HP for that 8 seconds, it allowed me just enough HP to not die, and just enough time to heal so that when the effects wore off, I wasn't dead, and I still had the smallest amount of health and had to continue healing, but I was able to work my way out of the situation. So, for me, it's kind of a no-brainer. The Vigorous version seems to be the one that is more useful, especially when you get into mid-level play and then higher-level gameplay. It might not help at the highest levels of the game, because at that point there's not much any FAP is really going to be able to do. But there are a lot of situations where this Vigorous version, giving that extra 15 HP for 8 seconds, and then being able to hit the FAP every couple of seconds to try and stack that a little bit, that has really saved my butt on multiple occasions, which is why, like I said, I did the first 8 stages, I got rank 6 base model, and then I immediately completed stage 9, and decided to transform it into a Vigorous version. So now when I upgrade it, I upgrade my rank 6 Vigorous, and I get a rank 7 Vigorous, and then I'll eventually upgrade my rank 7 Vigorous, and I'll get a rank 8 Vigorous. So you've only got to do stage 9 that one time, and that's why I did it. Now again, some people prefer to just skip stage 9 and stick with the base model and keep upgrading. Some people choose to do stage 9 and go with the Speedy version. Personally, I went with Vigorous, and now you know why I went with it and why I think it's the best of the 3 options. Now, I have already recorded a video where I actually completed stage 10, and I was able to upgrade my Vigorous version from a 6 to a 7, and I'm going to be making videos in the future where I upgrade to rank 8, 9, and eventually 10. So I'll be releasing the video about stage 10 later on, probably later this week, maybe next week. And I've also got some interesting videos that I've shot while I was doing stage 10 that will help you out with a lot of the mechanics that you're going to need to know in order to make stage 10 not a complete and utter nightmare. But I wanted to make this video specifically to cover stage 9 because I wanted to make sure you guys understand that yes, you can skip it and you can come back to it later. And I wanted you guys to understand the difference between the base model if you choose to skip stage 9, or the Speedy or Vigorous versions you can get if you do stage 9. And I want to be sure you guys understood the differences and why I think one is better than the other and some of the situations they're useful in. So again, big shout out to the Cyrene development team for even making this chain that allows players to properly match their FAP to their gameplay level, skill level, mobs they're hunting, stuff like that. I think we could really benefit from seeing a lot more mission chains similar to this. And I will be back with all those other videos moving forward in this mission chain for you guys, like I said, either later this week or later next week. So for now, I'm going to leave it there. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please do so. Please like the videos whenever we release them. And let us know in the comments, are you doing this particular chain? If so, have you already made the decision to stick with the base model or transfer it into either a Vigorous or a Speedy version? If you did transform it, did you pick Speedy or Vigorous, and why? Which one do you think is better? And also, what other items in-game, be it healing devices, tools, armor, whatever, do you think could benefit from a similar mission structure where players can better match equipment and needs to bankroll and level in-game and what we're doing in-game? What other items do you think could benefit from a similar mission chain structure? Let me know in the comments below. Guys, please put those playlists on repeat to help support us. Until next time, sip, sip, smack, smack. Y'all know the rest. Take care, guys.